Our story begins in the great kingdom of Persia, a long, long time ago. The king, whose name was Xerxes, was looking for a new queen. He wanted someone beautiful and kind to sit beside him on the throne. Many young women from all over the kingdom were brought to the palace. Among them was a young Jewish girl named Esther. She was very beautiful, but more than that, she had a gentle and kind heart. Her real name was Hadassah, which means myrtle tree, a plant with sweet-smelling flowers. She was an orphan, and her loving cousin Mordecai had raised her as his own daughter. He cared for her deeply and always gave her wise advice. Mordecai told Esther something very important. He said, "Do not tell anyone that you are Jewish. In a foreign land, it was sometimes safer to keep your identity a secret." Esther went to the king's palace with all the other young women. She was graceful and humble, and quickly won the favor of everyone she met. When the time came for Esther to meet King Xerxes, he was amazed by her. He saw a beauty that was more than just her lovely face, a light in her eyes, a goodness that shone from within. Out of all the women in the vast Persian Empire, he chose Esther. He placed the royal crown on her head and declared that she would be his queen. While Queen Esther was learning her new role, a great evil was growing in the kingdom. The king had a very powerful and wicked advisor named Haman. King Xerxes commanded that everyone should bow to Haman whenever he passed. But there was one man who would not bow, Mordecai, Esther's cousin. This made Haman furious. His pride was deeply wounded, and he began to plot a terrible revenge against Mordecai. He went to King Xerxes with a twisted story. He told the king, "There is a certain group of people scattered among your people in all the provinces of your kingdom." Haman convinced the king to sign a law that could not be changed. On the 13th day of the 12th month, all Jewish people were to be killed and destroyed. When Mordecai learned about the terrible decree, his heart broke. He tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and ashes, walking through the city with a loud and bitter cry. The news spread quickly among the Jewish people. There was great mourning everywhere. They fasted, wept, and wailed, feeling hopeless and filled with fear. When Esther's servants told her about Mordecai, she was very distressed. She sent clothes for him, but he refused to take off his sackcloth. Mordecai told the attendant everything, Haman's evil plan, and the decree the king had signed. He had a very important message for his beloved cousin, the queen. He urged her to go to the king and beg for mercy for her people. But Mordecai sent back a powerful reply. "Do not think you will escape, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." Mordecai's words changed everything for Esther. She realized her position as queen was not just lucky chance, it was a gift from God for a special purpose. Esther sent a message to Mordecai. "Gather all the Jews in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do." After 3 days of fasting and prayer, Esther prepared herself. She put on her most beautiful royal robes, ready to stand before the most powerful man in the land. Her heart was pounding, but she was not walking alone. She believed that God was with her. With faith as her shield and courage as her guide, Esther went to the inner court. She stood in front of the throne room, waiting. The king looked up and saw her. This was the moment of truth, her life and the future of her people hanging in the balance. When King Xerxes saw Queen Esther, his heart was filled with love for her. He held out the golden scepter, the sign she had been praying for. It meant she was safe. Esther was wise and strategic. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet, then to a second banquet, building the king's curiosity while making Haman even more arrogant. At the second banquet, Esther was ready. With tears in her eyes, she spoke the truth. "Grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request." When the shocked king demanded to know who dared do such a thing, Esther pointed directly at the wicked advisor and said, "An adversary and enemy, this vile Haman." Haman was terrified and doomed. The king's fury grew, and Haman was taken away and punished. The very gallows he built for Mordecai became the place of his own demise. The king gave Esther Haman's estate and promoted Mordecai to great power. Though the evil decree couldn't be undone, they wrote a new law giving Jewish people the right to defend themselves. The new decree was sent throughout the kingdom. When the Jewish people heard the news, their sadness turned into joy. There was happiness and celebration everywhere. On the day they were supposed to be destroyed, they instead defended themselves and won a great victory. Their day of doom became a day of deliverance. The Jewish people established the holiday of Purim to remember this incredible story, a time of feasting and joy, celebrating how God turned their sorrow into gladness. Esther's story reminds us that God can use anyone to do amazing things. Her legacy of faith and bravery teaches us to always stand up for what is right, even when afraid. For we may have been placed where we are for such a time as this.